Hey, this is Tresvon Pratt, and I'm here with D.I. This is Before the Millions.
Now it's time for a real conversation. Subscribe now, hit the notification button below. I got you.
So what's up, King?
What's going on, King?
Oh man, I finally got you in here.
Ain't it though?
Finally caught you over your busy schedule. You made it over here to Diamond Visions, man.
Love
That's
it.
what I'm talking about.
Love it, brother.
So let the world know a little bit about what you do, man.
Oh man, as most of us, well, as both of us, we wear many hats, but I primarily do real estate investing, and I focus on motivation, positive motivation. So what that entails is real estate. When I say investing, there's many different ways to go about it. Instead of just being an agent, I actually wholesale, and that's just basically like the entry level towards being able to fix and flip or buy and hold and gain some more properties or whatnot. So all of those tactics create an investor, instead of just one little area. But I primarily wholesale to build funds. Also, when it comes to positive motivation, everybody needs a little pick-me-up here and there. It's not easy to build yourself up,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there as a shoulder to lean on and a hand to help, you know what I mean? I love it. I love being a positive module that people could actually, I've been told as a young kid, just having a smile, a warm smile could brighten up somebody's day. If something as simple as me smiling can help you out, hey, I'm all for it.
Dope, man. Dope. So let's touch on the real estate first, right?
Yes, sir.
What made you actually want to start wholesaling?
Right.
Like you said, there's a lot of different ways to get into it, right?
Right.
But you chose to come in wholesaling. A lot of people say, hey, I want to do wholesaling pretty much, but it's not easy for one.
Right.
It's a lot of time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
So what's some of your strategies, and once again, what made you want to start wholesaling first before just pretty much finding some investors and hard money and different things like that, and just getting into the real estate business?
Cool. So the more you know, the less of a gamble it is, right? Wholesaling real estate is less of a risk than if you was to go full-blown, go ahead and get a lender and all these other contracts involved, all these legalities involved. Not to say that wholesaling is not a legal process, of course it is, but you don't have as much as the risk. So initially what wholesaling real estate is where you find a property or find a distressed seller. You get the property under contract. Once it's under contract, you have the legal rights to purchase. No one else can buy the house once it's under contract with you. So you get it under contract, and then you sell that contract to what we call an end buyer or another investor who does have the funds for a profit. That gap is your profit. Whatever you sell it for, you sell it higher than, you sell a contract to the end buyer for a higher number than what you got it under contract for,
So what's the average deal? I mean, as far as like the profit margin for you per se? I know it's different for everybody, but what's
Yeah.
What's a decent profit you made so far doing it, just to inspire some other people,
Yeah. The most I've made so far is $18,500, and that's clear, you know what I mean? You do still have to pay taxes for a lot of people that are getting into investing thinking that you just get that money and bounce. Now, you still have to pay taxes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you say you still got to pay taxes on that 18.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So who reports the taxes to the IRS where it makes you obligated to actually have to pay that?
All right, so when you're a wholesaler, you're an entrepreneur, right? So you'll have to do that yourself. You have to find a CPA, all right? A CPA, get you one that specializes with real estate transactions, you know what I mean? Find a good CPA, and this is why your network is your net worth, because the ones that you're working with, you're gonna make sure that they're good people, and they'll refer you to the ones that they've worked with, you know. So it's not so stressful like you out here by yourself, got to do everything by yourself. Nah, make some connections, and those connections will roll over to who you need to be lined up with.
So the person that's selling you the home,
Yeah.
they don't report that, hey, you made X amount of dollars off of this deal, or literally you're just obligated to actually report that. Because if they don't report, how would the IRS know that you made that money?
All right, so it's going to be documented, right? This transaction is a private transaction between you and the seller, but it's going to be documented because you have the ones who's going to handle the title. So you got the title company or a lawyer, a real estate lawyer, who can handle the transaction, and they'll draw up all of the numbers and be very transparent, and they put it in a HUD, a HUD. And once they put it in that, you have a copy of it, the buyer has a copy of it, you know, and that's what you will report to the IRS.
So if you had to give somebody some inspiring words as far as wholesaling, what would it be?
Consistency is key. Consistency is key. You're going to be excited off of the big picture when you first start out. You're going to be very excited about the possibilities. Yes, there are many people who have become millionaires doing this. You can be one too. But again, like you mentioned in the beginning, it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's definitely possible. So when you come across those obstacles, because let's face it, you're an entrepreneur now, when you come across those obstacles and you got to deal with them by yourself, you know, instead of giving up or saying this ain't for you, because it's real estate ties into everything. So you gotta learn, you know what I'm saying? You gotta learn, you gotta know something, you gotta regain your momentum, you need to write out some goals, you need to be able to revisit why you started, all right? Your why has to be strong enough to keep you going.
So you said wholesaling and real estate, right?
Right.
So what made you choose real estate? It seemed like everybody want to jump into real estate.
Right. And it's become more of a trend, believe it or not, man. Everybody jumping into it. Wholesalers, especially in Richmond, has gotten a bad rep. You see a lot of the We Buy Houses signs and stuff like that, and there's a lot of people jumping into it prematurely without knowing how to run numbers or how to make offers, and, you know, disrespecting a lot of people. See, one reason I chose, there's many reasons I chose real estate. One reason is because early on in my childhood, I always saw a salesman, a businessman, as an unethical person. You know, they're gonna get you for everything you got type of guy. When really, I was just looking at common. I wasn't looking at, you know, the real guys who have morals and principles. So I chose real estate. One reason I chose real estate is because I can construct it towards my ethics, my morals, my principles. So I'm a people person first, and I want to provide value to you, you know. So I come with solutions, not just get out the house, I'm gonna buy this junk, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not taking the bully approach and just pushing you out. I'm gonna talk to you, you know. I'm personal, you feel me? And that's one reason. Another reason is a house could be your biggest blessing or your biggest burden, you know. So growing up, again, a lot of it stems, is deep rooted for me, why I chose real estate. Growing up, my mother never owned her own place, you know, and I've seen her countless times crying over bills and stuff, trying to keep a roof over her head. And I was like, man, for one, I gotta make my mama proud, you know. Mm-hmm. I wanna be able to put her in her own crib, where I need to learn more about real estate in order to do that. How to buy real estate and stuff like that. Also, if she going through it, I know somebody else got to be doing it too. So I need to build myself in order to be able to provide those type of solutions, you know. And I've actually been able to cross that over and got her out of a bad situation recently, you know. Now I'm setting her up to be in a better place, and definitely just want to be able to help people. I truly feel like that's my life's purpose, is to help people.
Right. So what's the social medias, phone number? Somebody got a property they want to get rid of, you know?
Yes. So you can reach me at On Facebook, that's where I do a lot of my communication. One-on-one communication is on Facebook, and it's at Tresvon, Tresvon, Black Monster, BlackMonsta, and that's one word, Pratt. All right, Pratt. Or you can just search Tresvon Pratt, Tresvon Pratt. It'll come up. All right, and you can also search for AIM. It's a closed group, but it has some questions. You know, you answer the questions, I accept you. You know what I mean? I don't want no scammers in the group. I don't want no false, none of that. I don't want no BS in the group. So I got it as a closed group, but I accept many people, you know, and most of the people in that group are entrepreneurs that are doing stuff and looking for the next level and are helping others as we go along. So I love the way the group has developed. You know, we're very intertwined, we're very personal, you know. So you can look up AIM, Always Improving the Mind, on Facebook. As far as Instagram, that's the other site that I'm big on. You know, I post there more frequently. And same thing, on Instagram is at Tresvon Pratt REI. So it's at Tresvon PRATT REI, and that stands for Real Estate Investor. But you could definitely reach out to me on Instagram, and definitely follow the group AIM page on Instagram at Always Improving Minds. I guess the domain was taken, but at Always Improving Minds. And I have I'm doing a series on the AIM group called Read and Review, where I read a book and I give a review on it. I give my honest opinion about that book. And I started that this year because I realized we're always improving the mind. So I started reading books. And the more I read, the more I realize that certain books can touch certain areas for certain people, and certain authors can relate to certain people a little differently, you know. So with me reading, I've broadened my catalog to be able to pinpoint, hey, this book might be suitable for you.
So you mentioned AIM.
Yeah.
How did AIM actually come about? You know, I like the logo.
Thank you.
It's definitely catchy. AIM, when you think of AIM, you know, it could go so many ways. You know, aim high, aim at the bullseye, you know what I'm saying? You know, aim, period. You know, hit your target. So it just goes so many ways, and I'm just going off the head. So what made you come up with AIM?
So AIM,
how did it actually, you know, get started and everything?
Alright, so it's a funny story behind it. Well, I find it funny anyway. So me and these other guys, we met up through real estate. It was two other guys. We had met up through real estate, and we started going to the local meetups around here, and the information started becoming repetitive. It wasn't much that we didn't know. It's just we had to put into action. But we was new, so we was a little afraid to get out there and get our feet wet, you know what I mean? So we had came together, we had banded together and was like, all right, we're gonna hold each other up in order to achieve our goals. And we realized that that was a necessity. Somebody to hold you accountable, somebody to push you, somebody to be there, somebody that you could talk to, you know. And we was like, we had sat down, came up to a discussion. We was like, all right, what is it that we're not getting from these meetups no more? You know, what is it? Because it became more of a bragging pool. You know, I got this, or I closed on that, you know. And it was like, I, you know, ones who haven't closed on anything just yet don't want to keep hearing that. You know, what are we missing here? You know what I'm saying? Initially, what we found, or what I found, was we was missing the mindset. We was missing the mentality. It was something in there that wasn't clicking. Because it wasn't that we didn't have the knowledge. We knew how to do what it is we was doing, but we was frightful of doing what we needed to do in order to get to that next level, in order to get our first deals, you know. So I pinpointed it. I said, you know, it's a mindset, something that's holding us back. So once I shifted the momentum, you know, I shifted the momentum and started focusing on building myself versus focusing on just doing real estate. Because even if I was making calls back to back, I still wasn't enthusiastic about it because I don't have anything yet. I was facing them no's, I was facing them rejections, and I was ready to bail out. But I reminded myself why I started, had to pick up that momentum, and I had to gain confidence once again in order to keep trying, in order to keep putting forth effort, and pretty much had to do that dolo. So I was like, that's something that we're missing from all of these meetups that we're going to, from all of the people that we talk to, from all of the businesses we've reached out to. Nobody was able to sit and pinpoint and tell us, like, look, man, you have to get your mind right. It's a mindset. Success is a mindset. You have to think that you're going to be successful in order to bring it into fruition. If you don't think you can do what it is that you're doing, why should I invest in you? Feel me? Mm-hmm. If you don't think that you can make it, if you don't think that you can close a deal, then why should I sign to you? Thinking as a consumer, thinking as a seller, thinking as the opposition. If you don't think that you can do it, why should I trust you to do so? So it's a mindset. I had to build it up. Even though I hadn't closed anything, I had to remind myself that I am capable of it. I can do it. I want to do it. And my services are valuable, I had to think to the point where it was like, I'll be a criminal to not call somebody, because it could be somebody who's facing a foreclosure. It could be somebody who pops died, and they don't know what to do with the property. That come with taxes and loans and liens and whatever, that they don't know about. It just hit you, you grieving, and at the same time, you got more responsibility that you can't handle, stuff like that. So here I come to provide a solution. Listen, you don't even got to worry about it. I had to remind myself of that. I had to stand firm in that and realize that for me not to provide that service is for me to do you a disservice. Once I started thinking like that, switched it. It was like, yeah, I got to make these calls. Even if I'm going through the nose, I'm going to talk to somebody. Eventually, I'm going to talk to somebody who actually need what I'm telling them, what I'm selling them, Mm-hmm. And that's an entrepreneur, that's the mindset.
Definitely. So is it LLC, is a corporation, or pretty much it's just a group right now? Are there any other partners, or how does AIM run?
AIM runs through me right now. It is not solidified as a LLC or organization or corporation, anything just yet. So I would consider it a motivational support group. And we cater to the entrepreneur because the entrepreneur is one who's going to want to improve themselves in order to improve their situation. So we targeted that audience, but it's open for anybody who actually looking to get some type of inspiration towards whatever goal that they have set for themselves.